Hello, everyone. Welcome to Patriots III Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness. And here's your hosts, Tim and Matt. Hey, Matt, how you doing tonight?
I'm very tired. I'm tired of homework.
I totally get it. I got some homework to do in the very near future. Yeah, I get it.
Lots
You're
of
doing
drywall, lots of painting.
yeah, you're doing some home repairs, and I'm yard work. Eek. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the DOJ, and some recent health fraud. More on the Iran war, Antifa Troubles, government data breach. There's definitely some interesting things going on with that. Definitely give us a like, share, and follow. You can find our show at Tim Holliday TV. That's TIMHOLLIDAY TV. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch TV. Definitely going to give a shout out to one of my friends, Tally, learnu.live. So her slogan is Learn You, Live Better. So that's LEARN, the letter U, .LIVE, learnu.live. Wow. So I want to go with the good news or the bad news first here, Matt.
I need some good news. Give me some good news.
All right. So good news. The Department of Justice is doing some wonderful things. Especially those that value our healthcare here in our country.
Historic day for the Justice Department. Well, today,
let's try that
nationwide healthcare fraud takedown that resulted in charges against 455 people across 45 states. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. described it as the second largest amount ever charged in a single healthcare fraud operation. Well, it's part of the department's annual National Healthcare Fraud Takedown. It targeted a wide range of alleged schemes involving Medicare, Medicaid, and other government-funded healthcare programs.
This is just the beginning. Fraudsters can no longer rip off American taxpayers. If you seek to harm or cheat Americans, we will find you, seize any assets, and prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Well, the DOJ says healthcare fraud remains one of the government's top enforcement priorities because it drives up costs for taxpayers, undermines public health programs, and could put patients at risk.
Well, that's absolutely right when it comes to raising costs on healthcare. This fraud comes from many different angles, a lot from non-citizens. I'll just say it like that. But there are some fraudsters on our own homeland. They're trading benefits for cash or various other means, possibly drugs. I'm not sure exactly because I've never dealt with that. But it's definitely something that's great that's happened. Thank you, Department of Justice.
Absolutely. I really want to see more of this. It's something like, look, and we'll go off topic a little, or not off topic. We'll kind of veer off a little bit here.
Yeah.
It's something that we didn't see when what's her face was Attorney General that often, I should say. Yeah. When Blanche took over from Pam Bondi, I mean, it was indictment after indictment after indictment after arrest after arrest. It's like, hey, dude, like, it begs the question: what was she doing when she was in office? Because it seems Todd Blanche is really hitting home run after home run, or at least RBIs. You know what I mean? He's putting points on the board, and I want to see more of this, like big time. Matter of fact, I want to know why Todd Blanche hasn't been nominated to be the Attorney General.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good question. We did a show last year about Trump's picks. We were not sure of Pam Bondi. Didn't know enough about her, and that's plain.
Well, I knew enough about her because she was the AG for Florida.
Okay.
So, and her track record, especially on the Second Amendment, was bad. Like, it was bad. And, his first pick, Matt Gaetz, I was like, what the hell are you thinking with Gaetz? Like, come on. So, yeah, I knew enough about Pam Bondi to be leery on her. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So again, you were leery. I was unsure, and same with some of the other team that joined in on the that episode last year.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, I mean, if you're unsure, like, why are you going to go that direction? And if you're leery about it, then yeah, you have all right to be.
She did a fairly good job as the Attorney General when she was in Florida, but again, though, again, I'm kind of like a single issue. My single issue voter, as a voter, my single issue is guns, right? Second Amendment, and with the Second Amendment, she was very poor, very, very poor.
Yeah.
So as far as that was concerned, I was very leery on like what we're going to get, because we touched on this in other episodes, where it is incumbent on the executive branch to beat down the throats of the legislative and the judicial branches as far as upholding constitutional rights. And because the Second Amendment has been attacked very, very thoroughly and effectively over the last couple of years, several years.
Yeah.
It's incumbent on the president to be like, hey, Attorney General, I need you to she formed the Second Amendment task force, and Harmeet Dillon is head of that task force. She's doing a really good job, actually, a bang up job. Nice. But I've been disappointed by her as far as the other Second Amendment things go, because, again, you need to start railing on the Supreme Court. Like, hey, take these cases. We touched on this before. Take these cases.
Yeah.
And that's not being done. But, getting back on track to what we're talking about here with Todd Blanche and the healthcare arrests like that. Boom. More of it. I want to see more perp walks. And that's another thing, actually. I don't like it when we're constantly being told an investigation is being launched. I'm investigating you. I don't want to hear about it.
Right.
I want to hear about it when you put bracelets on the guy or the girl. I want the perp walk. That's what I want to know.
I've been bothered by that whole thing about, this is going to happen. No, I want to know when it happens and the aftermath. I don't want to know about this whole little prelude that doesn't happen. I hear way too much of that. It's garbage news to me.
Well, because it goes into the thing, like, you announce an investigation. Now you realize, okay, investigations take a lot of time.
Yes.
Then on top of that, now you have to seek a grand jury indictment when the investigation is done.
Yeah.
Then you get the trial. Then you get the conviction. Then you get the sentence. There's all these things that need to happen. And so I don't want to know when there's an investigation, because I'm always going to be disappointed, because those investigations take several months to up to years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's time I'm going to be spent like, hey, when's this investigation going to be over? When are we going to see the grand jury? When are we going to see
right.
I don't want to hear, don't take me down a long road. Just take me to the end of it, where like I said, give me the perp walk, and then, give me the trial, and then give me the conviction.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same exact way. It's just, I don't know, detrimental on people trying to take us down a road that hasn't been paved yet.
Yeah.
You might as well be, potholes and I don't know. I mean, we talk about all these different crosses that have
California. We got a lot of that.
Right. I've been there.
Yeah.
But I mean, go over I-40, the interstate itself. My friend Preston can tell you all about that. Yeah. I completely had forgotten. Follow Matt. He's streaming right now on X. Even though X has me kicked off, he's still on. So
that's right. I'm still on.
Find Matt. Was it
Matt of
Mystery? Matt of Mystery. He's on X. I have it up on screen, but I'll definitely put it in the show description later. And let's see here. Here's another little thing. If you want to throw some chat directly toward me, for those that are on Telegram, here's the direct link for that. Whenever I can find it in the chat here, so I can bring it up. There it is. So it's Tim Holliday TV. Can't get any easier than that. So if you have any comments and such, you can leave some with Matt. Leave some, leave comments, not chat, but comments. Remember you're getting chatted with was a Drop Hammer. I've tried to get his info. I couldn't get it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I tried to, but it didn't save. And I was just like, no, I wish I had my little notepad. I do have a notepad now. Thanks to a good friend who reminded me, hey, Tim, you should have a notepad. So we're going to, switch on a little bit of what's been happening as far as the Iran war. This is going to probably, upset some people, but those that actually are followers of the Constitution, we're going to bring things back to center when it comes to that. So, what is the U.S. Senate? If I could find my notes again, here we are. The U.S. Senate votes to end the Iran war in rebuke to Trump. I'm going to play a short little couple of video clips, actually.
On this motion, the yeas are 50, the nays are 48. The concurrent motion is agreed to.
And here's another.
Following breaking news out of Capitol Hill, where they are saying if at first you don't succeed, try. Again, at least 10 times now, that war powers resolution has just passed. Let's go straight to our senior congressional correspondent, Nathaniel Reed, who's standing by live on Capitol Hill. Nate, what do you know?
Well, look, in just the last couple of moments, by a 2-vote margin, 50 to 48, Democrats and a handful of Republicans voting to call on the president to rein in his war powers in Iran. This is a non-binding resolution. This is the same bill, by the way, that passed in the House of Representatives with similar margins, mostly Democrats voting in favor, a handful of Republicans voting for it as well. But this is the most concrete action that Congress has taken up to this point, expressing that a majority of members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans, don't like what the president is doing, either want more clarity about what's happening in Iran or want him to rein back the war entirely. Now, I just want to give you a breakout, Del, of who voted for this thing and ultimately who is against it. Senator Bill Cassidy, the Republican of Louisiana, who just lost his primary to a Trump-backed challenger, he voted for it. Not the first time he's voted for one of these. Senator Susan Collins locked in a tough re-election battle in the state of Maine, a Republican. She voted for this as well. Senator Lisa Murkowski, Republican from Alaska, who's showed a willingness to buck her party at times in the past, has voted for it. And Senator Rand Paul, the Republican from Kentucky, who has no qualms occasionally bucking the president, has concerns about the use of military force abroad, voted for it as well. The one Democrat, by the way, to vote with almost all Republicans against it, Senator John Fetterman, the Democrat from Pennsylvania, who has repeatedly said that he believes that the president should be given a broad berth here to conduct this conflict. We'll have much more, Del.
So I want to bring this, we're going to bring it around to some of the constitutional stuff here in a moment here. I'm really surprised when it comes to John Fetterman, especially after he's had his stroke. He's, I don't know, his decision making's, well, non-democratic, I guess.
I think he, I don't know enough about Fetterman, like his politicking, at least prior to him being in the Senate. So I have nothing really to base it on.
Yeah.
I will say though, he continues to surprise me as he kind of seems like, the Democrats of old, like, the 90s Democrats, you know what I mean?
The
rational ones.
John F. Kennedy. Yeah.
No. Like,
okay,
I mean,
okay.
like, no, the Democrats during Bill Clinton's presidency.
Okay.
The 90s, in the 90s.
Okay. That was like a crossroads. Yeah, I get it.
Well, it's because if you look at a lot of these old videos, right, of, you got Nancy Pelosi and all these things from the 90s, or, Clinton and everything like that. When it comes to like, things like immigration, they're all like, hey, no, illegals, no, Chuck Schumer, no, no, we don't support illegal immigration.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The Democrats of the 90s were still, they were still anti-gun and all that stuff like that, but they weren't like what they are now. They have really progressed in their liberalism. But Fetterman, to get back to him, he's kind of like that. And I think he's been that way the whole time. Like campaign talk and service talk is kind of two different things. I mean, you can say the same thing about Trump too. He said a lot of things on the campaign trail and he's not doing it now. So, and that's why a lot of, John Fetterman's kind of in danger in his, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You know, because they're like, hey, dude, what the hell? You're not being liberal enough for us. Like, you know,
Right.
what's going on?
Yeah.
You know what though? But going back to the war powers thing.
Yeah.
I agree with it. I'm glad it passed because, again, like you and I were talking about before we went on air, we're all about the Constitution. And the Constitution, the War Powers Act of 1973, I believe, limits the president military action to 60 days. He's been with.
Well, let me bring something up on screen because I went ahead and I just plugged in the show title of War and Constitution is the title of tonight's show, and it comes up right here. The U.S. Constitution divides war powers between Congress and the president. Article 1, Section 8 gives Congress the power to declare war, while Article 2, Section 2 names the president as commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But as further reading, it's not the entire armed forces; it's actually the Army and the Navy. But we went ahead and we found this right here: the war powers reporting by the president, purpose, mission, and domestic legal authorities. So this is what Matt's referring to here. So go ahead, Matt.
So yeah, the War Powers Act allows the president to engage in military force, but there are requirements that the president needs to do. Within 48 hours, he needs to notify Congress in writing of the scope of the mission, like what it entails, the duration, all that stuff like that. The president has up to 60 days to do whatever he wants, whatever they want to do, unless Congress puts a stop to it earlier via legislation. Or, in this case, they have put forth legislation that says, no, this is over. Your 60 days is done. You're finished. I'm all for that. Look, we're all about the Constitution, right? And the Constitution is clear on this one. And the federal law is clear on this one. You know, if you're not going to declare war, you got 60 days.
Yes.
60 days are up. It's time for us to go home. Because here's the thing. Whatever he told Congress and whatever he told the American people, and we've talked about this before, there was a hell of a lot of mission creep when it came to Iran. First of all, it was, we got to get rid of their nuclear weapons program and their ballistic missile program. Then, Trump publicly last week said he's okay with Iran having ballistic missiles. Because hey, if other people have ballistic missiles, why can't they have a few? Why can't they have some? Yeah, and it's like, okay, I mean, I tend to agree with that, to be honest with you, because hear me out on this one. Yeah. So yes, Iran is a mortal enemy of America. They have publicly espoused that, all that stuff like that. They're leading sponsor of terrorism, they're a terrorism proxy, all that stuff like that. Yeah. But I am of the opinion and of the thought that if Iran has nukes, I don't think they'd use them. Because the only people who would use nukes are terrorists, right? Now, let's not to say that Iran would give a nuke to a terrorist cell. That is a possibility, yes, 100%. But I have to insert my own personal opinion. Okay, this is my opinion. Yes. You can say that I'm wrong. You can disagree with me. That's fine. It's acceptable. Whatever. North Korea is a sworn enemy of the United States.
Yes.
They have also publicly espoused that they want to destroy us, right? Now, the thing about North Korea is they've got nukes now. We tried to prevent it. We tried, but they've got nukes now. How many times have they used it against their enemies? 0.
Right. Because
they know for a fact that if they use nukes, it's World War III. They use and China of all people has told them that if they initiate a war against America with or without nukes, China is not going to get involved on North Korea's behalf. They're on their own.
Yeah.
So they know that. Iran is kind of in the same position. They're the lone country in the Middle East, per se, with enough people around them, like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and all these other countries that are, quote unquote, allies to the United States, that would destroy them if they stepped out of line, if they did anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, because during our war with Iran, Saudi was getting involved, Kuwait was getting involved, Qatar was getting involved, albeit like very limited, but they were getting involved. And they publicly said, hey, if you do something stupid, we're going to attack you. It's going to be a tit for tat.
Yeah.
Iran knows this. So if they use nukes, they lack the ability to target the United States. So what are they going to do? They're going to target United States facilities in the Middle East. Well, if they use nukes on another Middle East country, they're going to be destroyed overnight, because the entire Middle East is going to petition America, hey, turn Iran into a glass parking lot, please.
Yeah.
They're done. They're dead. They're over. It's not going to happen.
I found this little video of Marco Rubio, and it was actually on an MSN website, but it comes from Newsweek, a full list of Republicans who just divide Trump on Iran. And strange enough that video has kind of been changed on that page, but here's that video.
Said that they had not agreed to inspections, i.e., contradicting what Vice President Vance said. What is your understanding? Well,
we know what they agreed to. I don't know why they have to say the things they say. Whatever their internal or domestic politics is, I guess they'll navigate it. But we know what they agreed to do, and now they'll either do it or they won't. And if they do, the process moves forward, and if they don't, the president will have some decisions to make. If Iran makes a decision, if its leadership makes a decision that they want to be a country instead of a revolutionary movement that exports terror, they're going to have an opportunity to do incredible things in Iran. I'm not promising you that that's the choice they're going to make. I'm saying if that's the choice that they make, then there will be opportunity. And those opportunities could include investment, as you've seen other countries in this region benefit from investment, from foreign direct investment.
So yes, as you were saying, Matt, there's a lot of countries around it that's looking at Iran. And so if Iran does step out of line, then everyone's going to be looking at it and saying, all right, we got some bullseyes on you.
Yeah.
More or less.
I mean, what I'm saying is I'm not going against Trump and America here when I'm saying this, but I don't think that this peace agreement is going to be whatever they agree to, the MOU, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to hold up. I think Iran's going to violate it, just like I think Iran's going to do the exact same thing that Iraq did to us after Desert Storm with the no-fly zones. They constantly violated the no-fly zone, constantly, in open defiance to us. And for the most part, we let them get away with it. A couple times we shot down their planes, and we did some strikes and everything like that. And then we put in inspectors, and they kicked them out. We came back. It was like all over. Iran's going to test us. They are going to test us.
Yeah.
Under Trump, I think if they test us, they're going to make a big mistake.
Yeah.
Because I think Trump's going to, hey, you violated the terms of our agreement, so I'm going to, whatever. And he would be right to do that. However, what I'm afraid of is Trump's only got 2 years left. In 2028, we're going to elect a new president, right? It could not be a Republican. It could very well be a Democrat. In the midterms, we're most likely going to lose the House and possibly the Senate. Yeah. So, we're kind of limited on our options. We're running out of time, and we're running out of options.
Right.
When we elect a new administration, let's say it is a Democrat, right?
Yeah. Will
they be as tough on Iran as Trump was?
Right.
I doubt it.
Well, if there's anything like the that last Biden administration, no, definitely not. Those
I don't really like to count the Biden administration, because we all know that Biden was a puppet.
Yeah.
Somebody else is pulling the strings, unfortunately. Nobody really this is one thing you can say about Trump that's good. How he goes about it, we can disagree on that one, but Trump is like Theodore Roosevelt. Walk softly but carry a big stick.
Yes.
He's walking around the Middle East with a big fucking stick. I'm sorry, big stick.
That's all right.
Big stick, and he's going to knock you out if you step out of line. Now, is he right to do that all the time? Probably not, but still, at the same time, the threat of a big stick is very, very effective.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah,
because Obama and Biden both like Obama's biggest foul up was Syria. Use of chemical weapons is a red line, and they use chemical weapons. and we did nothing about it.
Wow.
We just pointed our fingers, say, hey, we said this, and they're like, what are you going to do? And they used it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, let me, unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of AI, but this came from AI. When I did that search for of war and constitution, it actually showed a handful of different situations that we've been in that did not have congressional approval. And so that was the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Desert Storm, Afghanistan, and the recent Iraqi war.
And Panama and Grenada.
Oh, yeah.
Every single military operation since World War II has been either an authorization for use of military force or the War Powers Act. I mean, the War Powers Act was specifically passed to, put a curb to the Vietnam War to, help put an end to that, or to prevent something like that from happening again. But so it kind of goes against my, my pride and ethos as a Marine, right?
Yeah.
Smedley Butler. Do you know who that is?
I've heard the name. Remind
Smedley
me.
Butler. He was I believe he retired as a major general of the Marine Corps in like the 1930s. He's a 2-time Medal of Honor recipient. He's a badass. He is a badass. But he went publicly after he got out of the Marine Corps. He went off the rails on war's a racket. War's only fought for money. Blah blah blah. Like he was involved in a plot to assassinate Franklin Roosevelt. He wasn't involved. He was approached by a third party saying like, hey, this is what we want to do. Will you help us? And he's like, fuck no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. And he reported to Congress about it, and Congress didn't believe him. But he was vindicated several years later that there was an attempted coup on Franklin Roosevelt, and Smedley Butler was involved in the sense that they wanted him to be a part of it, and he said no. But the reason why I bring it up is like everything that he said is kind of prophetic in the sense that ever since World War II, and even you can argue World War II had some financial benefits, but war is an absolute racket.
Yeah.
Eisenhower, granted, he said it on his way out of the president, but he said, beware of the military-industrial complex. This is not a new thing.
Right.
And, what you just showed on the screen, like Congress hasn't declared war since World War II. Why is that? Because we make money off of it.
Yeah.
Private industry makes money off of it.
Yes, it does. Yeah, and you said that in the last show that you don't trust private industry as much as you don't trust the government. And you're absolutely right.
Because they're all after the same thing. It's all about money. It's all about money. Iraq was all about money. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say it was about oil, because we didn't take any of their oil. We didn't take a drop of their oil. We never did anything. But contracts were awarded to contracting services, and the biggest one was Halliburton. And who had control? Who had a major ownership interest of Halliburton? Dick Cheney.
Yep.
It's all about the money, because who got the contracts in Iraq for security and stuff like that? Halliburton.
Yep.
Then, that gave rise to Blackwater, Triple Canopy, all the private security, the PMCs, the private military contractors. Yeah. It's all about money. It's all about money.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that, heck, I even said that in the last show too, is, watch out for the lobbyists, because they're like drug dealers. Psst, hey, I got some cash. That's exactly what I said in the show. And,
look at it. Iran, it's all about money.
Yeah.
Because what is required, and what is being publicly stated now in the open. Before, it wasn't publicly stated. It was inferred by me. It was inferred. Trump admitted it publicly. We couldn't keep this up because we would have run out of oil.
Yeah.
Our reserves would have been tapped out. We're running low on weapons. We're running low on missiles, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Who builds those things? Private industry. Who gets the contracts? Private industry. Who makes the money? Private industry.
Right.
The war in Ukraine, same thing. We're benefiting off of that. It's costing us, all that stuff, but the military-industrial complex is getting their contracts filled.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate truth. But I mean, don't get mad at us. Don't shoot the messenger, please.
Yes.
We're just pointing out facts.
Look, let's be clear. I want to be very clear for those that are watching and listening, going to see this in the future. I am very proud of my service in the Marine Corps. I am very proud of the service to my country. I signed up to do a job. I was ordered to go somewhere. I went there. I served. I volunteered to go back. I served again. I just regret the circumstances of us going there. But at the end of the day, I didn't fight for America's freedoms. I didn't fight for my flag. I didn't fight for anything other than myself and my brothers. That's it. My loyalty was to them. I am loyal to my country. I'm not saying I'm not. But my service was dedicated to them. The whole reason why I volunteered to go back over again was because of them. I could not let them go over without me again. Not a hero. I'm not anything special, but that's why I did it. That needs to be said.
Well, believe me, I tried to join, even while using a wheelchair. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to pass the physical. I did pass the ASVAB with no problems. And that was through the Navy. Even though I didn't want to join the Navy, my goals were either the Marines or the Air Force. Those were my two goals. But as my grandfather was a Marine, my cousin Joey was a Marine. My dad's cousin served in the Army of Vietnam. So I come from a good line of service members. So, again, thank you, and thank my family members as well for their service.
Absolutely.
We took an oath of office. And we're going to switch hats a little bit here to defend against foreign and domestic. We have a lot of things going on here domestically. And I remember it was really, yes. It was a couple of years ago.
Peachy rainbows and unicorns outside.
Oh, don't I wish? Hey, watch out for those rainbows.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Not the good ones.
But anyways, actually, it's supposed to be God's promise as the rainbow, not what it's being exploited out to be today. But I remember it was about 2 or 3 years ago, I was sitting on a committee hearing on the phone, and it was Assembly Member Bloom, I believe it was, who's now an appointed judge in Los Angeles County. It was called the State of Hate, and it was kind of like a prelude to reparations for the blacks that are living in California. And so sitting on there, and I'm listening to this whole thing, and they're trying to say that Antifa and BLM was created during Trump's first administration. And I'm like, whoa, slow down there. I'm like, you probably want to correct yourself, is what I told them, that these two entities were created during the Obama administration. And it was just really terrible that a committee as such, and who's now an appointed judge, was trying to pass that off as fact when it was not. And I was really disgusted about that.
I would be infuriated, but I will offer something, a stipulation. Antifa has been around since probably like the 70s, I think. Wow. They weren't known as Antifa; they were known as Black Bloc. Black, the color black, block, BLOC.
Yeah.
So, Antifa is a loose organization of Black Bloc in the sense that Antifa really isn't a coalescing organization, and neither really was Black Bloc. What Black Bloc did that Antifa took 3 or 4 steps further was they infiltrated movements and instigated it. So like if you had a planned peaceful protest, Black Bloc would come out, they'd be wearing all black masks, black masks, and they'd have cameras, but they would insert certain agitators into the crowd to get them going and then turn that peaceful protest into a riot. And they'd start attacking. Antifa does the same exact thing, but now they operate in the open. Black Bloc never operated in the open. Antifa operates in the open.
Yeah.
And they're proud of it.
On some good news side of things, guess what?
Give me some more of that. Give me some
Here's
more of that.
Some good news here. So here's a picture of
Hey.
8 of 9 different Antifa members that were recently arrested. This is off of CBS News. I'll put that into the chat.
That Minnesota guy is really ugly.
right here on the Department of Justice website. Antifa cell members convicted of in Prairieland ICE detention center shooting. So this actually came out March 13th. Let me drop that CBS link in there that has a wonderful photo, or a set of photos, I should say. 9 North Texas Antifa cell operatives were convicted today by a federal jury in Fort Worth, Texas, for their roles in rioting, using weapons and explosives, providing material support to terrorists, obstruction, and attempted murder of an Alvarado police officer and unarmed correctional officers at the Prairieland ICE Detention Center on July 4th, 2025, announced the United States Attorney for the Northern District of Texas, Ryan Raybould. Wow. So seeing justice is a really, really good thing. I think that's what the people want. The people deserve it. I'm glad it's finally coming out. Like, as
it
such.
really is. Let me correct my record though, because that case was brought under Pam Bondi, so I have to give Pam Bondi credit for some prosecutions, and a successful prosecution. This is guilty on all what was it, 8 of them, 9 of them?
9.
9, yeah.
Yeah, the picture only showed 8, but there's a total of 9.
Oh, yeah, because one guy, one in the article said one guy actually pled out to one charge of providing aid to a terrorist organization.
Okay. And just as you were saying, this group from the 70s, possibly, same darn thing, just different name.
It's a lot of organizations from the 70s kind of coalesced in what Antifa is now, because you had a lot of quote unquote revolutionary quote unquote armies, armies of like 20, but you had a lot of these, like Weather Underground, for example, like all these people, and a lot of these were actually on the West Coast in the 70s and the 80s. So they kind of coalesced under one umbrella of Antifa, because Antifa is just all encompassing. You pick any kind of social justice issue and they're going to fight it.
Yeah.
And they'll turn everything into a social justice issue, just like the Carmelo Anthony bullshit out of Texas.
Yeah, and you're right calling it bullshit.
It is bullshit. I know I'm kind of off topic here for a little bit, but now that I brought it up, I am so sick and tired of people, especially from Black America, being so blatantly stupid and lying blatantly that, oh, it was an all-white jury. Oh, it was like, it wasn't an all-white jury. And they're like, he didn't have a jury of his peers. So now the standard, at least for Black suspects, is a jury of his peers, or a jury of their peers, has to be Black. And the whole reason why you didn't have Black jurors on that case was because they publicly admitted they were biased.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, I said this before on a previous show, good on them for being honest, because there will come a time where these non-biased people will lie and say, yeah, I can totally be unbiased.
Right.
Wow. And they won't. They won't.
I know.
And I'm the same way too. If I get a jury summons, I'm going to flat out say, like, hey, I'm a former police officer. I'm biased.
Yeah.
I can't be impartial on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I was honest. I knew a relative of the convicted person, so I couldn't sit on that jury. So it was back in the 90s when I was served, for jury summons. So I kept honest. Is everyone as honest?
My first jury summons was my very first jury summons was an interesting one, because I didn't show up, and it was while I was in Iraq, my first tour. When I came back, I was driving home. I got pulled over by a chippy, and I was not speeding. Okay, and let's be very clear, I was not speeding. He's like, "You have a warrant for your arrest." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, failure to appear for a jury summons." I'm like, I literally just got back from Iraq last week. Literally. He's like, "Can you prove that?" I'm like, "Yeah, here's my military ID. Like, this is my unit. You can call it whatever." He's like, "All right, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it." And it did. Like, my unit called the call the court and like, hey, no, he was in Iraq, dude. So yeah, it was funny.
Oh, the courts don't have their things straight. Just like California doesn't have their voter rolls straight.
No, they don't.
Oh,
no,
good.
They're
Well, I'm
going to
glad
protect that fraud till they're blue in the face.
Right. Yeah. That's a whole nother blue topic. But anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw that pun in there.
You had to. It's fine.
All pun intended. So last week we did a show called What the Flock Center. We were talking about AI and the flock cameras and data centers. I've been noticing some strange things, a couple of things last year when it comes to the functionality of the internet, a lot this year. It was on the 4th of this month. My 2 phones went just haywire on me. They just kept it on constantly doing this reboot cycle. I recently got a newer phone. It's not a brand new one, but it's a newer phone. And all shiny, new, refurbished. It was doing the same thing. Constant reboot cycle. One of my friends down in Tennessee, Nurse Kimberly Overton, that happened to her a couple of days ago. And she is on call. She's, for her work, she had to, spend a quick money to, keep her job going as far as being on call. It's very unfortunate that these things are happening. I'm seeing more and more of this happening. I actually got a phone call today. Hey, Tim, I got this weird pop-up on my computer. What do I do? Shut your computer off, is what I told her. Hey, you don't want to be playing around right now, especially on the computer. So an interesting thing that I saw, and it was actually shared with me probably about an hour and a half ago, over in Texas, the notification of a data security incident. Let's see, I want to read this out loud here. Texas Cyber Command recently detected a cybersecurity incident involving the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, TPWD, licensed system vendor that handles the sales of hunting and fishing licenses. The investigation indicates that an unauthorized actor may have obtained driver's license information, passport numbers, if provided, email addresses, phone numbers, and residential addresses for more than 3 million Texas hunting and fishing licensed customers. Social security numbers, dates of births, and financial information, including credit card details, were not obtained. So those were not obtained, thank goodness, from this incident. There is no evidence that customers under the age of 18 were involved or that may specify specific group was targeted. So, even with that much information going out, definitely keep an eye out on your credit reports and so on and so forth. I'm going to put the link in so everyone can see what's all going on, especially there in the state of Texas. If it's happening in Texas, it's happening in a lot more areas too. That's just not being publicly mentioned. So, I've noticed a lot of funny things going on the internet, but there's funny things going on with the government's computer systems as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, like we were talking about this last week, with the flock cameras and everything like that. And I want to reiterate for everybody that I saw both sides of the issue, and my main source of concern is everybody's main source of concern is data retention. How long you're gonna retain the information, but also data security. Can it be protected?
Right.
And in this case, time and time again, you see data breaches, and the government is not secure. Private industry is not secure. People are going to get in there. All it takes is a well-disciplined hacker, and you're going to get in there.
I mean, we're talking Capital One, Sony.
Everybody.
Now, Texas. I don't trust digital currency for these reasons. I will not go down that road with digital currency.
I have. I'm guilty. I don't have a lot. It's just a little bit. I have a little bit of Bitcoin and a little bit of something else, but
yeah. But I want the physical in my hand. I don't want some piece of paper saying, "Hey, guess what? You have this much money sitting somewhere," or something on the internet that just can be, breached in some way or another. I don't care what kind of blockchain methods are used. I'm I'm not into too much trust when it comes to the digital thing. I remember back in
You really
2006, when I was taking computer classes in the college. It was kind of funny. The instructor said, whoever can hack and get the right answers, you get an A in the class. That was his rule. Well, anyways, there's one of my classmates. He was in his late teens, early 20s. He actually wrote a script to start hacking. It took 3 days. Bam, he was in. That quick.
Damn.
And that was back then.
Yeah.
Here we are, near 20 years later, 18 years later, or 22 years later. Yeah. So, things are
2006.
20. You're right.
20. Yeah.
Yeah. So, here we are 20 years later, and things have just gone so much faster. I mean, we're maybe a dual core processor now. Right now, my current computer is a 16 core processor.
I got so many cores, it's unbelievable.
Right. My phone has more cores than what we ran back then. That's a true story.
Yeah.
And mine's an older phone. Mine's like a 2018 model of phone. I actually found a 4G phone with an earphone jack on it. I do not want the Bluetooth stuff. Yeah. I do not want 5G. I mean, that's the route I'm going.
I can't remember the brand of it. He was on the Sean Ryan show. Yeah. I think it was the founder of Blackwater, Eric Prince, I want to say.
Yes, Freddie Prince, I believe is his name, and it's the Up phone. Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and you can buy it. It's like $800, but it's completely off the grid. Like, it's a smartphone. Yeah, you can do all the smartphones with it.
There's a little kill switch that actually just knocks down everything. It's not one for your social media enthusiasts because it does not support those on purpose.
You won't put it on their phone. It doesn't get on the get put on the phone, but the phone actively suppresses like everything. It's air gapped kind of. Yeah. So it's super secure, but it runs off of I believe now they have the operating system for both iOS and Android on it. So I think you can get that, but
let me find.
Yeah, I looked at it. It's tempting. It's tempting.
So again, this show is not being supported, and we're not promoting anything. But this is, I mean, I'm just putting that out there. But I want to see if I can find that link and get that into the show description and into the chat. That's a very good idea. And that's something else that I want to bring up too, because if some sort of like hack, which we are witnessed with the state of Texas,
right.
But something that affects our communications, our cell phones, something, takes down our cell phones. And we mentioned it in a previous show with John Valle out of Washington State. The Chinese actually had SIM card farms to where they're producing SIM cards for the phones that were, already tainted, so to speak. But I mean, so what's the backup plan? What's the plan for you? What's your plan for your family, so on and so forth? We're talking highly in regards to ham radios. Now, Matt knows how to operate one. I know how to operate one. I don't have a license. And only in special circumstances you don't need an FCC license in case of emergency. And this has to be like a blood-curdling 911 emergency situation. There's a power line that's still live. It's right there in my front yard. Yeah. Use your radio. But you should learn how to use one, because if you don't know how to use one, it ain't going to be effective.
Yeah, a good friend of mine actually. He's a really big computer nerd. He has a successful program that can encrypt ham radios, so you're not going to broadcast. You won't broadcast in the clear anymore. It's all encrypted.
Oh wow.
It's not like military grade encryption, but it's good enough for like local government and shit like that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, I don't know if it's legal or illegal, but in a case of emergency, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a ham radio yet. I want to get one. But I want some kind of encryption on it.
But I mean, you can get a Baofeng radio for like $25, and those are only a couple of watts of power. The higher the watts, the further the reach. But you also have to have the antenna as well to support. So there's a few little things to learn with it as far as that's concerned. I have two sitting right next to me. One has a longer antenna than the other, and they're both 10-watt radios. So one can get a little bit more reach than the other. But regardless of if I don't have my license, I can't get that extended reach by hitting a repeater. And so that's a wonderful thing. So it was about a couple of months ago, I was out in California, and we hit from South Monterey County over to Minnesota on a radio check.
Wow.
By hitting a repeater. And that was
Are
really
ham
good
radios UHF?
Oh gosh.
I'm assuming, because
UHF
if
or
you went from
VHF?
California to Minnesota, that's got to be UHF.
Yeah, I gotta, again, I don't know everything when it comes to the radios. See, VHF, very high frequency. UHF,
Ultra high frequency.
Ultra, yes. I always forget my terms here. All I know is I was toying around with radios.
We
when I was a
carried
kid.
different radios in the Marine Corps, or in the military, I should say. VHF radios were for ground communication, all that stuff like that. UHF were for aircraft, to communicate with aircraft. So if we did if we were like calling in airstrikes or something like that, or a medevac or something like that, it was on a UHF radio.
Okay. So I remember as a teenager, we were playing around on CB radios, citizen band radios. And these were fun radios, as I'll call them right now. We were hitting from South San Benito County, North Monterey County to Australia on Skip. And Skip is basically the weather patterns are just right to where we're able to, get that frequency reach. And these radios were altered in such a way that could be obtained. That was, I don't even want to say my age, but that was quite a while back. I'll put it that way.
That's funny. Yeah. I'll be 45 this year.
Oh, wow. That's all right. I won't say my age. So, ladies and gentlemen, who looks older, me or Matt?
I think I look older, to be honest with you.
I'm not going to say.
You don't really look that old. I mean,
thanks, brother.
I mean, you look like you're in your 40s.
Appreciate you. Thank you. And that's all I'm going to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to put in the comments, how old am I?
How old do you think? That should be you know what? You should do that.
Let's do that.
Put it in the comments, and you should publicly say how old you are. Or if they guess the right age, then that's when you'll say it. If nobody got it right, then he's like, "Oh, you were close," but
right,
yeah.
And I have a birthday. Well, actually, I got a birthday gift as an early birthday gift, but nevertheless, a case for my wonderful shiny new refurbished phone. So I went ahead and I dropped the link to that up phone from unplug.com. So yeah, it's in the chat here, and I'll put it in the show description as well. Again, we're not promoting it, and we're not being supported by anybody. So the best way to support us is go ahead and give a like, share, and follow. The more shares, the better. Out of all the episodes that I've put out in the last few years, I'm roughly making about 10 cents per episode as far as monetizing. So I'm not making barely a dime, if that. It's not equaling out to how much I'm paying out per show on a regular monthly basis. But again, go ahead and like, share, and follow. That's at TIMHOLLIDAY TV. You can find us on iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch TV. And again, in the chat. Oh, yes. Also on Matt's Twitter. Yes.
Or X, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
X. Yeah. I don't know. I'll still call it Twitter because how I got treated. But anyways, it was like a Jack Dorsey still running it in some manners, but that's a whole nother ballpark. So let's go ahead and wrap up a few minutes early here, Matt. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead and give it. Just play it in the background. Let it play. That's all we need.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. Don't. If you want to
watch,
you
don't have to look at my ugly mug.
Yes, thank you, Storyworks, for watching. And I know Story does share out quite a bit, so I definitely appreciate that. And
Much
for
obliged.
everybody else that does the shares as well, thank you. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great time. Ciao for now.
Have a good one, guys and gals.